Hi, everybody. Thanks for attending today's webinar about Openpath and Touchless Access Security System. My name is Pete Sacco. I'm the president and founder of PTS. We're about 20 years old, and we're a pretty interesting company. And very briefly, before we get to it, I'll just give you the overview. PTS is a company that specializes bringing hybrid cloud to the enterprise. And when I say we're unique because we started back 20 years ago designing and building data center facilities. And today we are experts on the data center side from both an IT and facility standpoint, as well as the workplace. And so we understand the data center and the workplace from both a facility standpoint and an IT standpoint. And so very quickly, we have, like I said, been around for 20 years, and we position ourselves at the forefront of converging technologies. And that's what we'd like to introduce you. And one of those technologies, especially given the state of the world, we feel that touchless entry is becoming a higher priority. It's part of our overall approach. By the way, what you're looking at right there is the PTS location here in Oakland, New Jersey. In fact, I'm sitting right about there. And we use the Openpath system at multiple entries within our data center and our office space. At the front entrance here, back entrances at the data center locations, multiple warehouse entries, and so on. We're using that today in tandem with temperature scanning, which is can be integrated directly into the Openpath solution. So as people come into the main entrance, they are already scanned for temperature and then alerted to the desk and integrated into other back office systems. Which could actually, there. Some people are using it as turnstiles to lock people out if you have a temperature, not being able to get into the building. It's purely, but we can help you discuss all of that. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce Jim Tapp from Openpath, and I'm going to stop sharing mine and allow him to log on and share his screen and run us through a quick presentation. Take it away, Jim.
Hi, this is Jim Tapp from Openpath. I am the regional sales manager for the Northeast, and Openpath is an access control manufacturer. We are headquartered in LA, so we are US based, and you're looking at the founding team members of Openpath. When you look at the platform today, you're going to notice that it is user-friendly, simple to navigate, and really intuitive, and that's because the founding members' history is really cybersecurity and content delivery. They had a company called Edgecasts, which they sold to Verizon a few years back in 2013. And it was all about the user experience. So when we go through the UI today, you'll appreciate the ease of the application. So as they were deploying Openpath to the Verizon facilities, they kind of ran into the problem that everybody's familiar with, which is Atlanta might have had one credential and New York had another, and so on throughout the country. And what they decided was there's got to be a better way. They looked at mobile as an adoption mechanism for your credential instead of your card. They looked at some of the competing technologies out there, and most of them really just moved your credential to your phone. And so they thought there's got to be a better way. So we ended up with the design and development of the app, and the app is the gateway into the application. And instead of having moved your card to your phone like HID did, we actually put the system and the ability to provide full access to the system on your phone and really simplify the use. So I'm going to go through a pretty brief video. We're going to talk about the application, and if you have any questions, just bring them on up. So first thing you see here is the Openpath reader. We make this reader. It is a very low profile, only 11 millimeters off the wall. Made in the USA, lifetime warranty. And what's happening here is there is technology that we hold a patent on. It's called an iBeacon. And that reader is looking for cell phones that have our credentialed app on them. And the range, just so you know, because it does come up, the range for this iBeacon is configurable. how far out we're looking for phones. So what you see here now, we've got a feature called Touch to Unlock, and you might have noticed that her cell phone was detected by the iBeacon, and she didn't have to get off the phone. She didn't have to launch her app and select her door. Another patent that we hold is that your app does not even have to be running. The iBeacon finds the phone, and the phone responds and automatically launches the app. The only technology out there that can provide. And that touch to unlock that you just saw is configurable also. And it's whether or not you use that feature. And then also the range that your cell phone has to be before you can touch the reader. So the idea is we want to make sure that she has an intention to go through the door, which is why we've turned on touch. We don't want her walking down the hallway and automatically unlocking doors as she passes the reader. So we confirm through the touch that she intends to go through this portal, and then we unlock. So this is kind of typical of most other competitors' systems. You have your app, and then you've got to find your phone, launch your app, find your door, and touch your door, and then that'll get you through your portal. We just want to confirm so that everybody's aware, we do support credentialed technology, in this case, low frequency, standard proximity, or high frequency MyFair technology. And they are compatible with our readers as well. So it does, the issue comes up if I've lost my card or my phone, the battery died, can I use a credential to get in? The answer is yes, you can. Apple Watch is supported as well. So we just want to point out that the phone needs to be seen by the watch. So they need to be in Bluetooth range as well. And then you can unlock the door. So this is a little bit different application here. So we've got the iBeacon technology. In this case, it looks like the range that is set for the cell phone is about 6 feet. And we've got the door to automatically unlock. And so this is the idea behind so much touchless access control where there's no interaction. And if you marry this door with an opener, then it's truly 100% touchless. So in this application, what we've got here is the use of the app. We've got our reader here, and then they just simply select the entry that they're going through, and then that will unlock the gate. We could have it automatically unlock, but then as you were coming in, if the exit reader happened to see you, it might open this arm here. So we want to make sure that you're configured for your application-specific use. The other thing worth noting here is that this is the same reader that you saw inside the building. So from a service and installation viewpoint, from maintenance, it is the same reader. You just change the read range. It's IP65 outdoor rated. So your inventory costs are less as well. So we do elevator control. And the way elevator control is done is we have a I/O board that's either in the basement or the roof, depending upon where the elevator control room is. In this case, this is a pre-COVID screenshot here. So what we do is we touch the reader, and then the phone is authenticated, and then whatever floors she's allowed to go to, only those buttons work. So that's classic elevator control. You should be aware we also do destination dispatch, which is totally software driven. And today we've also got more use of the phone app. I'm going to bring my phone app over for just a second. I have a mirroring on my app. I'm going to bring that over so you can take a look at it. So this is my cell phone. So if I wanted instead to prevent touching the reader and touching the buttons, I could just put the floors on my elevator and touch and then unlock the door right from there. So that could be touchless. relative to the elevator equipment itself. So in this turnstile mode, I just want to point out that our reader is behind a piece of smoked plexiglass. And you also noticed, I hope, that the occupant walked up without getting off the phone. He's been authenticated. And in this case, we have touch to unlock. We have wave to unlock as well. Let me just show you what that looks like really quickly. So this wave to unlock is kind of the same thing. It's a newer feature that we've turned on. And as long as the phone has been authenticated by the reader and the panel, and you have access to that portal now, then all you need to do is wave in front of the reader, and you're through the portal. We're seeing a lot of interest there. So now we're looking at the remote capabilities of the system. So we've got a delivery. So he's texting his host to let him know he's coming by. And so the host now just grabs the lobby entry door and he releases it remotely. We're going to talk for a second about the app. I have 3 icons here. This pin means that I'm within Bluetooth range of my turnstile. Same for this one. So whatever range we've set on that reader could be anywhere from a few inches up to 30 feet. He's close to those turnstiles. He's not close to the side lobby or storage doors, but he does have access via the cloud. So his remote unlock here is not Bluetooth, it's via the cloud. He's also got access to the lockdown feature because he's a privileged user. And so he could, if he chose, initiate a lockdown and revert a lockdown. You'll also notice there's a favorites tab here. So if his door count happened to be high, or maybe he wants to put all his elevators in one single tab, he can just move those to his favorites tab, and it might facilitate the navigation of the app. So what we're looking at here is another way to grant access to the facility. And in this case, the host is going to send his access level to his visitor, and he gets to choose date and time that that credential is going to be valid for, totally configurable from 1 minute up to years, and he's just going to share his access. And if you noticed, any messaging utility that he has on this phone is usable for us to send the link. So AirDrop, text, SMS, email, Gmail, Slack, Facebook Messenger, all viable mechanisms to send the guest link. And then when your guest arrives, it could be for a delivery, it could be a trucker, it could be a contractor. All they need to do is select Tap to unlock, and they'll go through the portal. So there's a couple things significant about this. First of all, you don't have to have them download the app, which not everybody wants to do if they're a visitor. You don't have to issue them a credential, which is sometimes common for a visitor. And of course, you don't have to get that back when they leave, which could run into some real dollars. And then the audit trail from the software will show that this person, whatever was typed in here by the host, shows up in the log, as well as the host's name and then the date and time stamp. We do have integrations into the platform, and there are many and still many more. So Destination Dispatch is by Braxos. If you have an identity provider like G Suite, Office 365, Azure Active Directory, Okta, I think we've just added one login. Those are all mechanisms you can use to populate our cardholder database. We have integrations with video systems, Milestone, I think, being one of the most popular in the US. Cameo is a cloud-based system, and there are more, Slack, building automation systems, visitor management systems, and it's probably significant to point out that all these integrations are done using our own APIs, and those APIs are readily available. They're on our website. They're extremely well documented, and they're at no charge.
And Jim, aren't you also working on integrating to face scanning, face temperature scanning? We talked about that, you know, at PTS. We not only use your system to protect different levels of credentialing within the data center, but to even get in the suite now, we're making it such that we're using multiple different temperature scanning technologies, infrared scanning technologies to lock out doors and or areas before people even get in the area. And I know we were talking about doing that integration.
We sure are. So we've got a lot of these tools on our website that talks about especially COVID and integrations, self-attestations, automating wellness checks before you get in there, API uses for temperature, thermal, facial. They're all there and they're all well documented. They're all viable today. So good point, Pete. I forgot to bring that up. There's another thing that sets us apart from our competitors, and this is another patent that we hold. And if you've come across any other mobile credential technology, they rely on Bluetooth. And for us, that just wasn't sufficient. So during the development, we found what a lot of our competitors and users have found is that the Bluetooth, although it's pretty good, it's just not 100%. And if you have a little Bluetooth speaker, either in your house or you have Alexa or something like that, you find sometimes you don't have good communications. And the same thing happens between your phone and your readers. So when we issue this unlock command, whether it be manually by tapping the door or automatically through the communications, we actually send it 3 paths simultaneously. And so we say we always unlock the door. It should be as reliable as a key, which you can't say about the competitors in this space, and give you an idea of what that looks like. This is kind of the overview of the technology. So this signal, Bluetooth to the reader, which is TLS 1.2 encrypted, by the way. We send it to the reader via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and cell, and they all communicate encrypted, TLS 1.2 back to the panel. Whichever gets there first unlocks the door, and the other methods are discarded. We do use an Amazon Web Services technology, so that provides multiple redundancies and backups. We do run over 485. However, it's worth noting that if you have a classic or contemporary access control system that's running what they call WEGAN standard, which is 6-wire shielded, we'll run our 485 over that. So you can pull off old readers and put our reader technology on, swap the panel and all the other wiring, lock, request to exit, reader wire, door contact, they all stay. And for the most part, that's where most of the money is in an access control system. It's in the labor to get the wires at the door.
Yeah, Jim, I got to tell you, when we became a partner some time ago now, you know, being a guy who not only is building data centers, but also building office spaces, not only that, but owning data centers and owning office spaces where I have multiple tenants, it was that integration that I could literally just use the old wiring that I've had and not have to recable an entire facility in order to get all of these nice features, which, by the way, it was obviously became, it was pre-pandemic when we got involved with you, but when we became involved and all of my clients started yelling about, you know, having to change the process to get in and out buildings and recording, it was so simple for us to just change the program and change the credentialing for my employees, touch, how far did we want to give people access before the phone would open it via 3 mechanisms. We found the flexibility of it in the changing condition flawless. And so that's why I thought, you know, this would be a good thing because we're integrating a couple technologies right now, yours with the temperature scanning, all for changing the way people are going back to the office.
Yeah, it really does facilitate an upgrade to new technology. It's not a heavy lift like you think. So it really is designed to fit over your existing infrastructure. So I think we'll just close this video with that last swipe to unlock. So a newer feature that we've turned on. It's been there for a couple of years, but we've extended the range because we send our software over the cloud and we're constantly updating the technology. So if you look at how often we make changes to the software, because it's cloud-based, we're constantly pushing out fixes, improvements, added the one login here, milestone integration here, bug fixes here. We're constantly making changes to the system. So also just want to point out that at each door, and I'm looking at a lobby door here, just wanted to show you briefly what it looks like. Like everybody else's access system, you can put a door on a schedule, so you can automatically unlock it. You can put it in certain states, like a convenience mode. We'll get to that in a minute, but it allows you to change the behavior required to get through the door based on a security threat. If we look at the other devices on the door, does it have a contact? So we know if you left the door open. It's configurable, so we know how long to count that up for. Whether or not we've got a card reading turned on, whether or not we want your wave or touch to unlock. How far away does your phone have to be for your touch to work? So this setting here is for turnstiles, for example. Whether or not you want to automatically unlock the door. So you just have a range of configuration that no other manufacturer has out there. If I look at a door itself in terms of the entry management state, I think we mentioned that convenience mode has all these factors to get you through. And briefly, it is single factor over Bluetooth, two factor over Bluetooth. And I'm going to talk about two factor for a second, because we can require you to actually unlock your phone before it'll work on the system. So where you have systems that are using keypads today, or fingerprint readers or hand scanners, the truth is now, with COVID, you really don't want to put your finger where somebody else's finger just was. You don't want to touch the same keypad. So we can force you to log into your phone with your finger or your face or your PIN. And if you don't, then we won't unlock the door for you. And you can see all these mechanisms: remote, local, Wi-Fi, cloud, geofencing. They're all configurable. And if I had a threat like a lockdown and I need to automatically flip all my readers, I can do it with a panic button, with a API, and all of a sudden, now you have to be right at the door, you have to log in your phone, and none of this remote access works. So just illustrating that it's very configurable. The report writer's pretty friendly too, and then I'm going to turn it over to you, Pete. So this is just the activity of what's happening. So you can see here, I issued a cloud key to a guy named Tom, as a consultant in New York City. We did that this morning. So Tom unlocked the door remotely. Access was granted, single factor unlock. He went to the 4th floor. That credential was issued by me. All of these fields are searchable and reportable. If I just wanted to look at the cloud keys, you can see it automatically resorts my activity log. And if I want to download my report, I click download and it automatically sends it to my laptop. Very fast, very efficient, and very simple. Pete, I think I might turn it over to you unless you have a question or two.
Yeah, no, you could leave that on, unless you want to convert back to me being the host, and I can pull up. I'll share my image. Yep, I'll do that. Let me put that back. Whatever. We'll finish out there. I just wanted to say, I like to say there for the report side, a lot of people don't want to learn the management platform, although I think it's very easy to learn and be able to do. But I've got a number of clients that will want us to include it in our NOC stack. And so we will often do that as a managed service to help them manage that platform for them on a 7x24 basis. But I think right there, I think that was a very good overview. I love that video. I think it explains a lot. And I think we're right on the hour. So I want to thank everybody for attending. Ask if there's any questions that anybody might have. I haven't seen anything come up in the chat, and so as an indication. So I guess, Jim, how about this? Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and we'll be in touch as usual. And Anybody, if you're looking for more information, please contact me or, or Jim, and we'd be happy to run a more personal demo if that's something that you're interested in.